If you've decided to go the route of using a storage account for storing and accessing data in Windows Azure, then once you have the account created, there's a few things that you need to do to get set up so that you can actually get in there and start making the objects that store the data. The main thing that you have to remember is that the storage account itself is really nothing more than just a placeholder, somewhere that accommodates the means by which you actually store the data. So what I'm referring to there is here's my storage account that I just created. And if we go and look at a couple of the options here, we can click on our dashboard and we can see that the primary means to actually store the data are the three objects of blobs, tables, and queues. So the endpoints that we're seeing here is actually how we go about both creating and accessing those objects. So none of them actually exist at this point in time. Note that it's just, again, a URI that indicates where this storage can be located, but they actually don't exist yet. And if I go through my options here for monitoring, there's nothing available here. If I go to configure, this is for the account itself, some monitoring options and logging options again for each of those three objects, but there really is nowhere in here to actually create them. Containers are specifically for blobs, and if I just click on the help option here, that will actually tell you this, that containers are logical groupings for blobs, so they're specific to those. So you might be wondering, well, where do I actually create the tables, the queues, and the blobs? And in fact, you don't do it from Azure. What you have to do is either download what's known as a Storage Explorer or use some other type of application. And just for the sake of knowing it at this point, Visual Studio gives you the options to do this as well. But for this demonstration, what we're going to have a look at is downloading one of the storage explorers. So we're just going to go back to the main page here for the storage account, and we'll select the one that we want to deal with here. And when you come to your main page here, right on the very start, you can do one of these two things here. Install the Windows Azure Software Development Kit, and that gives you some tools available to create various types of objects. But specifically for storage, right here we'll see Storage Explorers. So we're going to click on this one here, and this just brings you to a page where you can download any one of various Storage Explorers. So this table here is just giving you a bit of an idea as to which objects can be created and managed with the appropriate tool. So there's a good one right here, the Azure Storage Explorer, specifically designed for Azure Storage, and it supports all of the object types. So you can just click on this. And it's just going to prompt you to download and install the Azure Storage Explorer. So you get a bit of an idea what it looks like right here. So we can just download it there, but I've already done that. So I'm just going to close this, and I've got it minimized down here. There is our application right here. So the first thing that you have to do to be able to get into your storage is add your account. So we've already created that in Azure, so we just have to add it into here. But what you need to do that is back here in Azure, you see there's Manage Access Keys. This is how your applications gain access to the tables, the queues, and the blobs. So we're just going to quickly jump back into Azure, and we're just going to hit this option here to manage the keys. These are what is required in our Storage Explorer. So there's the name, so we're just going to copy that. And we can just jump back into our application here, and we're going to add an account. So we're just going to paste in the account name. And then you see that we also have the account key. So back into the same window here, we've got two, a primary and a secondary. We can use either one, but we can just choose that. And again, now we can close that because that's all we need. Switch back into our Storage Explorer and then paste that in there. Note that you do have this option for developer storage, and if I enable this option, then take note that these go away, and what this does is only store data locally for development purposes, so then we can upload later on. So in this case, we don't want to do that, but we probably do want to use HTTPS to make sure that this is secured. So we can enable that, and then we can just add the storage account. Just gives us a note about this. Click on OK. And there we have it. So our new storage account that we just created back here in Azure, and you see the exact same name, is now available through Storage Explorer. And you see what we've got here now are the options to create new blobs, new queues, new tables. So your Storage Explorer is that additional application where you can go in and start accessing, creating, and managing those storage objects. We'll have a look at some other options later on.